Shalom, shalom. Giving all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash, Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash, Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash, Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have taught us this beautiful truth. This lesson will be entitled Vice Shall Not Prevail Against Wisdom. And I was doing some reading about 2 days ago in the Apocrypha. Let me get it right. And this is out the Apocrypha, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 30, the last verse. For after this cometh night, but vice shall not prevail against wisdom. And when I read that, I had to just put the book down. It was very powerful, and when I was reading it, the spirit was present very heavy. And I just knew at that moment, I was like, this is something to make a video on. And in today's society, as you can see in this picture that I asked ChatGPT to create, it is a Jake man battling vice. And you can see that he's battling vice, but vice is not a physical something that you can beat up. And I just got a scripture that just came in my head. Ephesians 6:12, classic. Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, right? I'm going to read that part again. Against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Now, we know for the darkness of this world is the power of this world is our so-called white man, the Edomites, according to the scriptures. And let me pull up this Job 9, I think it's 14. No. Oh, Job 9:24. Close. Oh, excuse me. The earth, Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And we know who is he. We know it's that red devil, the so-called white man, the Edomites, that rule the society, that throw us in jail, that oppress us, that tax us, murder, rob, rape us, and steal wisdom from us, and stole heritage from us. But this has all been enabled from on high, the Lord, as a punishment. And so it's just like that one saying, you don't know where you're going if you don't know where you came from. And that's right. I was just talking to Jake yesterday, and I told him that. He was like, oh, wow, that makes a lot of sense. I'm like, yeah, go read Deuteronomy 28. That's all the shit that happened to us for disobeying, for being fucking wicked, and this is why the Lord gave the power of the world into the enemy's hands, because we've became undeserving of it. We've became filthy. We've became defiled, and it's a shame. And we are now put in a place of a state of death. We have came back to the truth, and it has been a reconcilement and a great awakening. And Thawadi Yahweh Bashim Shai, and all glory and all honor to Yahweh Bashim Shai, for always keeping his word, for always keeping his promise, and for bringing us back into this thing, because he didn't have to. But he said so he did. And now we're put in a position to where we need to be mindful of these things and understanding these things. And of course, the brothers that are pursuing this truth understand this. But the rest of the world, they could care less. They don't understand. Not only do they not understand, it's just, and then they not only do they not understand, but they also don't understand, and they attack it. And that just adds more hell onto us. And so we're put in a position to where we're being dragged. Satan on the left-hand side is dragging us from all sides, from the whole damn perimeter. We're surrounded on all sides, being consumed by different negative vibrations, negative frequencies, evil thoughts coming into our head. Even we having to go work for this devil every day and having a conversation with 2/3 niggas is vexing. Trying to go to work, gas on E, flat tire, insurance, you're getting pulled over, you're getting harassed. So we are put in a great position to where we are vulnerable, as this picture demonstrates, to vice. Jake is chained down in captivity. And it's a great captivity. It sure is. That's why the scripture names it Babylon the Great, right? Not just Babylon. It's Babylon the Great, because this is a great captivity. Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. Khan. And going back to the first scripture I read right here in Wisdom of Solomon, but vice shall not prevail against wisdom. And I was going into that word wisdom, I believe yesterday, actually. But we'll get there through the Spirit. But the scripture right here says, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. Right. Now, I got another scripture. Just popped in my head. This is a beautiful. Proverbs 9:10. Proverbs 9:10. The fear of the Lord Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. Now, you see how that connects through the Spirit? Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and the fear of the Lord is his treasure. Proverbs 9:10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. Now, Going back to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 30. This is why that scripture says, vice shall not prevail against wisdom. Because even though we're not fighting against flesh and blood and we're fighting against a spiritual war, to put it simply, one of the battles we face is battling vice, whether it be women, whether it be corn, whether it be too much drinking, whether it be lying, whether it be stealing, adultery, whatever, or even just distraction, scrolling on your phone, slothfulness, um, lukewarm. All this is vice. Not being healthy, gluttony, being fat, being a fat fuck, not doing your best. Not doing your best when you know you've been called to greatness. Shit. That's a crime. That's a crime. That's a crime. You're not innocent. Damn, that's a scripture right there. It just popped in my head. Let me find it. Lord willing, I find it. Oh, the Wadi Out Washing Yashai. This is out the SISV, the International Standard Version. Proverbs 26 and 11. A dog that returned to its vomit is like a fool who reverts to his folly. Revert is to go back, transition backwards. So you're just like a dog that goes back to its vomit. You're a fool. That's disgusting, man. So when I say being slothful and being lukewarm, of course it's part of this journey, but to the ones that allowed that to let them fall out, this applies to you. A dog that returns to his vomit is like a fool who reverts to his folly. Because you've been called from the heavens for a true love, for the first love. But nah, you weren't interested. But you're gonna have some people that fall out. You're gonna have some people that ain't just meant for this thing. As the picture, demonstrates, it's a fight and it's a battle. And some people don't win this battle. Some people give up. Some people get tired. But that is all that I have for the meantime. I pray that this was edifying. I pray that this was useful. I thank the Wadi Habashmi Shai for allowing me to bring it out. And keep pushing, keep striving, and shalom.